58, 88, 91, 126, 169, 202, 219, 245, and 255. I know our next guest knows what those numbers mean. Wayne Larrivee, good to see you, my friend. Tell the people what those numbers correspond to.
Those are where the Packers will pick in the draft as we sit here right now, correct?
A ding, ding. First rounder, 25th overall, 2 seconds, 2/3, a fourth, a fifth, 2 6, and 2 in the 7th. Good morning, Wayne. How are you, my friend? I understand you're on the mend from back surgery.
Yeah, but making quick recovery. It's been a little over a week since I had back surgery and feeling better every day. It really, I think it's going to be good. I just have to limit my activity. You know what I mean? No more CrossFit workouts for a while. I can't swing a golf club right now. I can't go skiing. So, yeah, I got to limit.
Unnecessary.
I'm so bored. I'm so glad you guys called. I'm bored as to tears.
Yeah, I know. Can't swing a golf club. Well, you couldn't before, so you're fine.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a week out. All right. So was this major surgery? Was it like a discectomy or something like that? A fusion like Tiger Woods?
It was a fusion of a couple of discs. It was widening of the spinal canal to get off the sciatic nerve. It was 5.5 hours under. And, I didn't realize when you're under that long, the anesthesia that you're under, it stays in your body for about 5 to 10 days. I mean, yeah, I didn't realize that. Who knew? I was foggier than normal. You know what I mean?
You're nodding your head. How many surgeries have you had, Butch, in your career?
I've had 6, but I've had a ruptured patella tendon, which was that long to correct. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, Wayne. And any perhaps unusual slips by you, because you never miss a beat, we'll chalk it up to the anesthesia.
That's right.
What can you chalk mine up today to, though? That's the question. I'm wondering.
We got nothing.
Jeez. No, I got nothing either.
Quintessential.
I can't wait for the day to be over with.
All right, so let's talk grocery list here. Tell me if I'm off on what the Packers are probably going to be shopping for. DBs, edge, O-line is always in fashion, and maybe linebacker. The not needs include quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back, defensive tackle. Of course, then again, it's Goody. He could do anything right. So what about those needs and not needs do you agree or disagree with?
Well, I mean, I agree with most of what you said. I think they will go for a running back or two in this draft. I think they feel strongly about that. But those running backs, there isn't a running back with a first-round grade. And here's the other thing about this draft. If you look at the consensus information that we have, it's hard to find 32 first-round players rated with a first-round value to them. So that makes this draft a little intriguing. And you ask, well, why is this draft a little light this year? Only 54 underclassmen came out. Now, that's a product of what we're seeing NIL money. Players are staying longer in college. And so we don't have as many early entries into the draft as we have in recent years when we've had over 100 on occasion.
I was going to say,
so
what's a typical number? Double that?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say double that, but up around 70, 75 if you look at the averages over the last 10 years or so. But I was interested to hear the Miami Dolphins general manager, I guess in a fit of subconsciousness, said, we don't have 32 first-round grades in this thing. So, it's going to be very interesting to see. This is very strong in offensive tackle. Where do I think the Packers will go? I think they'd like to get somebody in the secondary with a great deal of versatility. I think they'd like to get an offensive tackle. And I know they'd like to get an inside line or linebacker, off the ball linebacker that can kind of fill out their starting three out there. That's really primarily. And then you're going to get 2 running backs in this draft, I think, for sure. And those are the major areas of need. Safety's another area. And safety could come up really early on the second day of the draft. That's another area the Packers feel is very important. So I would rank the needs, and I'm not saying they're going to draft them in this order, but I would rank the needs as safety, inside linebacker, offensive tackle.
All right. Iowa's Cooper DeJean is very hot as a prospect. He's an incredible athlete. He has Ed Reed-esque instincts for the ball. He can also return punts and kicks, although fair catch signals can be a problem at times. 2 problems, Wayne. 1, white cornerbacks in the NFL are as rare as the abominable snowman for reasons that you can discuss over a bar stool for hours. The other problem is he probably won't be there at 25. Would he be worth scooching up to go get, in your opinion?
Based on the stuff that I've seen, the tape I've seen, the people I've talked to, yeah, I mean, because of what you said there, his instincts. Now, he has speed, don't get me wrong. He had a heck of a pro day, and his pro day came later than everyone else's because he's coming off injury. But he had a heck of a pro day, really knocked it out of the ballpark. I think his instinct. And here's the other thing, Czabe. He's not going to be your prototypical, we're going to put him out there on an island, starting cornerback, okay? This kid is going to play a lot of different positions if he's drafted. He's going to play slot corner. He might play on the outside on occasion. He'll play a lot of safety. He's going to be a hybrid player that is a chess piece in the secondary. I'm excited about him. I would be. And yes, of the players, and I look at this, where the Packers are sitting at 25. If they sit at 25, maybe the offensive tackle Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma falls there. Maybe. They might be able to get the second or third, maybe the fourth ranked cornerback. But if they want Cooper DeJean, I look at it, I think they're going to have to move up 5 spots to get him.
Wayne, when you look at, you talk a lot of tackle situations. When you look at the Packers sign of Andre Dillard, what does that do for the draft? Does that change the philosophy at all?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I saw that come across yesterday afternoon, Butchie. I think it does. I think it takes some of the need out of that position, but the Packers will address that position. There are only a couple of really deep positions in this draft. Quarterback's a pretty deep position. Offensive tackle might be the deepest position on the board, along with wide receiver. And the other deep position is cornerback. So, if you're looking for value late in the first round and you want to make sure you take a player with a first round grade at 25, I think those are the positions you're looking at, probably cornerback, offensive tackle, which I expect to be pretty well picked over by number 25. Wide receiver is not a need for the Packers whatsoever. And the other positions are going to be pretty well picked over by 25.
Do you see Goody making a move in the first round? I mean, he's done it. He's been aggressive. He's like, what does your gut say right now, a little less than a week away?
Yeah, I think he'll try to make a move, Butchie. And I think, whether they're able to make a new move or not depends on how the draft is breaking down. But I think he'll try to make a move. I think he'll try to move up to get value with that pick. I know the other factor is, okay, let's just sit there and get 5 of the top 100 players in the draft and plug them into the roster and let's go. And that's okay. But I think if you really want to get a value player, if the draft breaks the way I'm thinking, they're going to have to move up from 25 to get a value player in the first round of this draft. Now, second and third round, that's a different story. We're talking about a different type of athlete at that point in time. But if you really want to move up and get an athlete that makes sense, that can really come in and do some things for you right away, I think the Packers will have to move up in this draft as I look at it, just looking at the scenarios, the mock drafts, and how it breaks down.
Wayne, this kind of piggybacks off of that, but what are the odds that the Packers move out instead of up?
That's a really good question, and I could see that. I can understand why they might do that. But I think it would have to be this aspect. They might move out if a player they like or a position group they like has kind of slid in this draft. Like, let's say offensive tackle doesn't go as quick as everyone's predicting it will. Let's say wide receivers go big. Let's say 6 quarterbacks go, 6 wide receivers in the first round, maybe 3 or 4 edge rushers, maybe 5 cornerbacks go. All of a sudden, you're pushing back into that second round, and maybe the Packers can get the offensive lineman they like early in the second round, maybe even with a trade up. Maybe they trade out of that top spot, trade into the first spot of the second round, get the offensive tackle they want.
Have we spoken since Aaron Jones was shockingly released and became a Viking? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
How are you with it? Because I know your affinity for him, both as a player and a person, was every much as high as ours. How did you take it? How are you taking it?
It's sad to see him go. Obviously, we've talked before about him. He's heart and soul. Okay, he's heart and soul. One of the maybe the classiest athlete I've ever met in my life. Period. Just from a pure one guy to the next guy standpoint. And his production, the 5 straight 100-yard rushing games down the stretch, 2 of which came in the 2 in the playoffs, 3 in the playoffs, something like that.
Incredible. Yes.
Incredible run. Never happened in the history of the franchise. Never happened.
Right.
Tough decision. But here's the thing: is if you're making personnel decisions, okay, you have to check, your bias at the door. Okay, you cannot go into this thing like you cannot bring emotion to the picture. When Goody and his lieutenants sat down and made that move, they decided. I don't think they had coaches involved. They certainly didn't have players involved. I doubt they even had management involved. They made a cold, calculated decision that we need to get younger at that position. We need more durability at that position. And as much as we love Aaron Jones, making this in a vacuum, this decision without any emotion involved. Because if you're going to make these decisions, you can't be emotional. I couldn't make that decision. I don't care. I would have brought him back at all costs. But, that's the emotion of it.
Well, they wanted him back, Wayne, at $7 million. So it's not like they were just, he's too old and broken down. They wanted him back, but the price was half. My argument was just for once, could you splurge and eat $7 million, scrimp elsewhere as the Grey Poupon commercials go? Or no, that's Boar's Head meat, I think. Scrimp elsewhere, like for 1 year. Yeah. Let's scrounge $7 million out of the seat cushions to keep.
But didn't they get a better running back?
That's to be
we
seen.
We don't know. We don't give me that stink face, Butchie. You've already botched one major news item today. You're in no position to be stink faced.
All right, then let's say Wayne is Josh Jacobs better than Aaron Jones.
He's healthy too. We don't know.
Well,
he can't be hurt. He can't be hurt more than Aaron Jones. I love Aaron, but he can't be hurt more than him.
Yeah, they're different running backs, different styles. Yeah. Aaron Jones is kind of going to give you more of a grind it type thing. Aaron Jones is going to hit home runs. I'm speaking strictly as a fan. Boy, that's one guy I would have found $7 million for. But that's again, I have to go back and say, hey, listen, I'm emotional about that. I'm more like a fan. Goody's making a hardcore decision that does impact the salary cap going forward, even if you scrounge up $7 million, that type of thing. So, and they may have other plans with some of that money even this year. So, hey, I give the personnel people their props at this time of year because they have to make tough decisions the rest of us wouldn't want any part of.
All right. What I'm hoping for is that Goody can do what he did for the wide receiver position the last 2 drafts, where he's using 2nd, 4th, and 5th round picks to add absolute studs like Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs and Dontavion Wicks. If he can do that with the running backs, Wayne, let's go.
Goody, they've had success in the middle of the draft with running backs. A few years ago, they drafted Jamal Williams in the 4th, Aaron Jones in the 5th.
In the 5th, right. Let's do it again.
Oh, I don't think there's any question they can do that. I know they like some of these. There's not a running back in this draft with a true first-round grade. Okay, now, every organization grades differently. I'm coming to you from media type of grading, and that's not even close to what the NFL guys are doing, what the real guys are doing, all right? This is all pretend on our part. But those guys have the real grades. But there's not a running back that anybody expects to really go in the first round unless somebody's reaching, so to speak, as we say. But there are 2nd, 3rd, 4th round running backs. Oh, yeah, and there's going to be some good ones at that stage. So I don't think there's any question the Packers feel they can fill that need day 2 or even day 3.
Wayne Larrivee, your legendary and longtime voice of the Green Bay Packers and a draft fanatic. On the mend, he'll be skiing the double black diamonds in Vail in no time. Just a little bit slower.
By the time I'm ready to do that, Vail will be closed.
And Wayne will be part of our draft night coverage next Thursday and Friday night for rounds 1 and 2. Can't wait. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Wayne.
There you go. Billy Joel, I'm moving out.